film. He makes it look easy. On act with ease, so that you thought him much. I agree to say.
Yes, we have this is the biggest of them all. I didn't know I was going to catch him here, but you never can catch somebody like Zubi Michael. You can't catch him. And he didn't.
Ikugana mononyi watago so mana daddy nwe mo by isi aja. Mbanwo by yotago by isi aja yotago. So what you do for me now, yeah? Subscribe to his YouTube channel. Before no TV there. Now we did there, yotago, because Aburo go when I send actor na area, and I go one Tia, Ruka, who were bugging a phone. What I go? So I been in the film. It doesn't but TV. Huh? That's the #1 channel now. You did here.
Yes. Now, thank you very much for this big advice. In Asaba, filmmaking has spiraled. By being spiraled, I mean that filmmaking has received a great boost. There is an upsurge of film activities. Filmmaking has gained momentum simply because places where we do films in Asaba have grown by leaps and bounds. And these places are what we call film houses. Many people now have professionally taken to buying houses, acquiring houses, either by buying them outright or renting those houses, maybe upstairs, maybe downstairs, that's duplex, or bungalows, which they in turn now turn into film houses. What it means is that if you come to such buildings, you will get outfitted living rooms, parlors, outfitted rooms of various shapes, various sizes, various gradations. You will get all manner of things. You get swimming pools. You get sprawling compound, well made up. It's amazing. What I'm talking about is, in fact, when we get started, we will be talking to some people. Yes. On the last count, I may not be exact, but we are talking about something that goes in excess of 100 film houses. The mother of them, you could say, is the leisure park. The leisure park houses a film village in Asaba here, and it's located at Anwai Road. Now, people have gone there to film. Some say, oh, the place is too expensive. So whilst at that film village location on Anwai Road, built by the Delta State government, so while that place witnesses a downturn, you may go there for 1 week and you may not find a single film shooting there. But go to any film house in Asaba. It's a beehive of activities. We are talking about the many places, the various places where films are shot in Asaba. That is the many places, okay? This has given rise to calls by a good number of people for film villages to be spread out, especially in the southeast. Asaba has its own film village. There is an advocacy for a film village to be sited at Enugu, Awka, yes, Owerri. That's right. Because putting up film villages will help the film industry. Well, while we are talking about places where films are shot, perhaps we better address the issue of the films that are being shot. Are we doing the right things? You're a producer. How do you produce? You're a director. How do you direct? The costumier is called upon to reappraise his or her work, the makeup, all of us, and then coming to the actor, the person that's always in front of the camera. How do you carry yourself? How do you carry your sacred responsibility of putting life and meaning to what you are dishing out to the public? Let's take, for instance, the producer. How do you start your work? You are not just answering producer in name. There are things you must do to ensure that you are a good producer. Oftentimes, things as simple as engaging artists, something as simple as that is actually a problem in the industry. When you call up an artist, hello, please, I'm going to work with you on so and so date. I will send you the script. Ensure that you send the actor the script. And then you give the actor some time. Maybe 1 or 2 days you call him again and you agree. You already agreed on the date. Okay? And you do the negotiations of money this, money that, minus, plus or minus the amount of money you're going to pay the artist. Okay? And the day begins to approach. That is where we know who a producer, who a good producer is, and who a bad producer is. I remember there was a time I had a shoot with somebody. We were talking, we were discussing, we were in conversation up till about 3 days to the time. Then on that day, I was even coming from Nsukka, all the way from Nsukka. And I drove to past Enugu, past Onitsha here, past Awka, past Onitsha, and about to enter Asaba. On the bridge, crossing into Asaba, I picked up my phone and called the producer. Now, how far? Where am I meeting you people? Oh my God. You know what I heard? Oh, Daddy, please. I forgot to tell you. Ebugaligom production. I have changed the date. Can you imagine? And I left Nsukka all the way. So what am I saying in effect? You are a producer. Please respect the time belt. When it is 3 days to the time, give your artists, give them calls. That is count down. 3 days count down. And then the next day again, or give another countdown when it is 1 day. Always do that as a producer. Don't leave everything to your PM, to your production manager. Some production managers are not adept at these things. They take things for granted. But you, the producer, you don't take things for granted. Your artist is treasured. Your artist is supposed to be treasured. Keep him informed about any changes. Okay?
There are stars and there are stars.
Yeah, we
So
have
when
we have stars and we have twinkling stars.
We have twinkling stars and method actors. Uncle V.
Does he need an intro?
My name is Rita Okoli'S. I'm from Anambra State, married to a Enugu State man, and I am a Nollywood actor. I bumped into this gentleman.
Am I a gentleman?
Yeah, you are a gentleman by nature, but by film, he's rugged. Yes. So he's talking about film houses in Nigeria, Asaba in particular.
Do you like it here?
I like it here because I get to work anytime I feel like. It's a self-employed business. So anytime you want to work, you scout for job and you have one. Asaba is like the center of it all. Yes. We have so many film houses, and this happens to be the Wicked Man's Film House. Here at the back of NTA, will I say adjacent to Miriam Babangeda's road.
That's right.
Towards the express, Asaba Delta State. And a lot of things are happening here. I mean, like now, we are like 3 productions here.
Welcome back to the lecture. We'll continue with our lecture. You heard a ride from our big star. Yes, we have more of them in stock for you. Now, you, the producer, the primary or the first work of the producer is to procure the script. Procure the script. It is easier said than done. All some of us do now is, bros, please give me a story, write me a story. And I tell you, the quality of scripts, the quality of stories we have these days, the quality is most of them are nothing to write home about. Step up your story. Now, when we say story, your narrative, step it up. Step up on the quality of narrative of the story you have. When you have a story and you give it to somebody to screenplay, you have to give your story to somebody who knows everything, knows about screenplaying. Person who can obey the rules of screenplay. When it gets to that, we will be talking about screenplay. The screenplay. How do we screenplay? What goes into doing a good screenplay? Hollywood has its own precepts. Does Nollywood have its own precepts, I think that Nollywood remains our benchmark. So when it comes to screenplay, yes, Hollywood is our benchmark. There are a few writers who obey the rules. So you, the producer, getting a good narrative. I know that a producer ought to shoot a film, shoot a story he is comfortable with. They don't always rest on the odds that you're comfortable with so-and-so story, that somebody has told you so-and-so story. What is involved in narrative? What is a narrative? A string of events. What unifies all those events? Causative events. Cause and effect in time and space. That is narrative. Somebody, what's a story, by the way? Somebody, let's say somebody coughs somewhere. It's a very simple thing. Somebody coughs somewhere, and we're in a group, somebody is coughing. Bah, 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 bah. You look at the person. What has caused that cough? It's not impossible that the person has seen something out there, and he's seeing that thing. Maybe the thing is just occurring as he's seeing it, or whatever he's seeing has passed, but he sighted it. And that cough is to do what? Warn somebody. That thing is happening. Cause and effect. What has brought about the cough? And what is the effect of that cough? It's a very simple analogy, but it's an analogy that holds water. That is what happens in every story. It must have that cause and effect. And it is happening, or they are all happening over time and space. Time, because time, if you begin to qualify film time, story time, dramatic time, are you talking about time of 1 hour, 2 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours, 2 days, 48 hours, more than that? There are rules. And you see, when you talk about cause and effect in time and space, it's happening in space. Space is where? At Ela, in Nigeria, in your bedroom, in the living room, within the family space, or within how many people, located where? I have met with producers who do not even care about where they are going to shoot until they move that day. I've branched into another thing. A producer is shooting, has had a script, has already called artists, has called and negotiated crew members. But the same producer has not gone on what we call recce. Recce is very, very important. I remember back then in 1985, when we shot Things Fall Apart at Enugu. My own boss, Palakalonu, me and Ndubisi, late Ndubisi Oko, we worked under Palakalon. Our department was location base. That was the name, the title of our department, location base. I came in from Aba. Ndubisi and Palakalon, who came from the zone, from Benin. And we arrived in Enugu, was it 2 months? 2 months before the rest of the crew started coming. Because we had enormous work to do in terms of recce, location recce. We were the first to go. We now went to, we surveyed all things, and we arrived at using Amechi Dodo as Okonkwo's first family home. And then also arrived at using Ukehe. In fact, Onyoho. Because when I say Ukehe, Ukehe is the big brother. Onyoho is not so well known. So we arrived at using Amechi Dodo as Okonkwo's paternal home, and then his maternal home, Mbanta, where he ran to, we decided would be Ukehe, Onyoho. Why is it so? Why was it so? Because if you look at the soil texture of Amechi Dodo, is different from that of Onyoho. And then you talk about ambience. There are so many things that come into play. The vegetation you get at Amechi Dodo is slightly different from what you get at Onyoho, Ukehe access. So that's how we settled for it. And then we started going from homestead to homestead. The place we started negotiating as Okonkwo's house, the man thought we were joking, and when we told him about the amount, he said that he brought out, there is nothing illiteracy will not do. The man brought out the money he sold from, the money he got from selling palm wine. I said, is it something like this? He said, it's not even more than what I sold from palm wine today. Look at the money here. And that's what you're asking me to take for the 1 or 2, in fact, 3 months. We were negotiating for 3 months. You're paying a pittance. So the man refused. We passed his compound, went to the next compound, where we met somebody, sat with a young man, negotiated, and he accepted. We spent 3 months in his house, and in that house, we were the orange in his house, we bought it. We bought the entire tree, and everybody was feasting on it. Every plantain. Later, the other guy now, when he saw that things were happening there, because we were always going there every day, and he know what it means to go to a location with a large crew, day and night. The man became envious, so he started disturbing us. Come and use my house. We go and say, Baba, time don't pass.
Yes, Zubi Michael said, a jobless mind is a thief. And he's talking with respect to the employment of youths, the almost guaranteed employment FEM gives to youths. Do you agree with that?
Truly, I agree with that, because movie industry is an industry that gives many people jobs, opportunities. Youths will come with empty-handed, and they will be known and make millions. I'll use myself as an example. I came into industry as a nobody, but today I'm proud to say I'm somebody. Movie industry is a professional business that needs nothing, only for you to focus.
Yes, welcome back to the lectures. We will still continue to feed you. Remember that this is Idejimba TV. It is my YouTube, okay? So what am I saying really? It's Reiki. I'm talking about Reiki. You need to be in touch with where you're shooting. When I shot the Rainmaker, because I needed authentic African, authentic Nigerian, authentic Igbo village, Igbo huts. Because all these huts we use for our Igbo stories, especially at Ela, they're not authentic. I'm just telling you that so you know. They're not authentic Igbo huts. So I went to Abakaliki to get locations for the Rainmaker. If you don't like, view Rainmaker and make up your mind on what I'm talking about. So I traveled to Abakaliki and went to all the places they showed me, they suggested. I went through all those places, okay? And I found out that there were places better than what we use here. An authentic Igbo hut is smooth. It has smooth surface. Because in those days, I remember when we were still small, when we were still kids. Igbo huts, there was something we called Mpolo. They were white stones. And that was what our mothers used with banana stem. Banana stem with mixed with mud. Okay? They used it to rub on the wall, and with the mpolonkwo, they now smoothened it very well. So do your Reiki. The many decisions of the producer. The producer of a movie will also have to decide the director he's going to work with. Are you forgetting that? He has to. Because the producer comes before the director. Even though the director comes in, he takes over the entire gamut of artistic decisions. Yes. But the producer will first of all employ the director. That is the truth of the matter. When we were yes, again, when we were shooting Things Fall Apart, there was a face-off between the producer and the director. Dave Orere, the director, Adiela Onyedibia, the producer. It was a very simple thing, but it was an artistic decision anyway. He just bothered on the costume the spirits would wear in one of the scenes. One of them insisted that the spirits would not need to wear a flowing white gown. And that's on account of the time. You know, the era in question. It was a hot debate, so much so that production was halted, stopped. And we did not shoot for upwards of almost an hour. The director walked away. So that shows you that the director does not need to kowtow to the producer in much the same way as the producer would kowtow to the director. No. It has to be a symbiosis. Agreement. Producer must know that the artistic decisions rest with the director. As soon as you recognize that, yes, then you know that your film will fly. Because at the end of the day, the director will literally, I should say, walk away. He does not own the film, but he owns the artistic portion, segment of the film. And that's why, for that reason, that you can say so and so is so and so director's film. There is a theory that backs that one up. When I was to shoot Idejimba, that was way back, that was in 70 what? It was I shot Idejimba. 79? I shot Idejimba at Aba. Yes. As the producer, I was the producer director anyway. And there were so many decisions I had to take. In those days, you could decide to shoot VHS. You could decide to shoot U-matic, depending on what was in your pocket. Okay? U-matic was not easy to come by anyway. I was working in NTA also, and if I shot the U-matic, I wasn't quite sure I would be able to sustain it for the entire duration. Because how many U-matic cameras did the NTA have? So what I did was, it was a tough decision. For a few scenes, I shot U-matic all through. But for most of other scenes, I shot VHS, yes. VHS rigged to U-matic. You understand? It was a decision I had to take, both as a producer and as a director. Well, it yielded dividends because I had very strong signals after editing. Signals were better, signals were stronger than if I had shot VHS all through. And then at the end of the day, I had to bump everything to U-matic. So I edited U-matic again and still came down again to VHS to sell. Okay? These are some of the stories. I mean, what you do as a producer. Okechukwu Ogunjo 4 and Kanayo Kanayo, when they finished with Living in Bondage, they came to NTA to see me for obvious reasons. Okechukwu Ogunjo 4 was a classmate of my wife. KOK himself was a product of me, more or less. But now they have blown big. When they were coming into NTA Aba Obo Hill, the entire Aba surged as a crowd, following them. We had to barricade. We had to lock up the gate of NTA Aba. Even then, you know Aba now, they were pressing on the gate. So reinforcement of some policemen were were called upon to protect federal government property. But that's not really where I'm going. Where I'm going is there was a decision they came to take. I was to direct a movie, their next movie. Okechukwu Ogunjiofor, you know, is a producer. He's actually a prolific producer. I think Okechukwu has an eye. He has his eyes at the back. He's a good producer. So he brought, I've forgotten, what's that script now? I will remember it. I looked at the script. They gave me the script. I read through. I said, this script will not take you to where you are going. After the sing-song, after the celebration of living in bondage, you need to shoot something that is stronger than living in bondage. I said, okay, Chukwu, please, you need to do formal, you need to edit this work. Edit it. Firm it up to make it stronger. You know, we can sit around in Aba here and firm up this script. Well, it is history. You know, when the guys from Lagos come down to the east, they have peeps in their shoulders and they don't like to be talked down upon. They don't like anybody to tell them that Lagos is not as big, as famous, you know, as it is. Even though that was not what I was saying, I merely said, you need to edit this script. So, I lost directing the film because of that. Another director was brought in. So what I had to do was I gave them my wife who did continuity for them. Okay? Things like that happen. These are decisions. A producer must take decisions on the script, on the narrative, on what he's going to shoot. Because once you have money to shoot, you need to think about your work. How strong is this work going to come? What am I presenting? Okay? So that one went like that. Again, when one teacher was to shoot Omenuko, you know Omenuko, the story of Omenuko, at least people of our age, even people that were elder to us, we all read the story of Omenuko. Huh? Omenuko the traveler, Omenuko the businessman, traversing Obi Okoli'S to where? Up to Agwata area, up to Orumba area. Omenuko was not a mean story. Omenuko is in the Hall of Fame of Igbo classics. So when he was to shoot Omenuko, again, Geoffrey Ike, his name is, Geoffrey was my artist in NTA, and he brought Omenuko to me to direct. I made a review of the script he gave me. I read it. There was actually not much in that script. But from what I read, beginning, middle, back, because I was just skimming through, I saw it was Omenuko story. Omenuko. By Peter Wana. That's a big story. A big story. Omenuko is in the pantheon of Igbo classics. Omenuko is almost as big as Things Fall Apart, as big as Arrow of God. Those are Igbo classics that resonate highly.
Yes, in terms of the expenses, I think the film houses, I think they are more expensive because, yes, I think so. Because then you come to somebody's house, you pay, and then you use everything. But with this one, room is this one, parlor is. If you want to use outside, you pay this much. If you want to, by the time you calculate what you're spending, but then again, sometimes if you want to cut down costs, it ends up being penny wise, pound foolish. Because what you think you're gaining, you're losing somewhere else. So it's better for you to spend that money and get what you want. That's what I feel. So no matter how expensive it is, I still feel it gives us that room to be us and do what we want without prying eyes and people detecting or dictating what you should do and what you should not do.
Now they start crying from
Don't even get me on that. Once it's 8 o'clock, the babies crying, children making noise, So here, then again, I also think, here, when you gain here, you also lose here because again, we have film houses, but I think it's still not enough. So you find people sharing film houses. And for me, I don't think it's a wise thing to do. I think if you want to use a film house, pay for it. Use everywhere so that it can curtail the noise. You can't be shooting and in the background, you're hearing another person shouting action here, action there. People are making noise downstairs. You're shouting, hey, stop, So yeah, that's a disadvantage. But that's because we don't have enough. If we have enough, that will go around. But I think we're getting there. Film houses in Asaba just started. It wasn't something that was rampant, but now more are springing up. You understand? So I think very soon we won't be having that problem again.
Thank you very much. Well, we actually caught her in her set, and in the set is the director of the set, do I call it Ebu D or Ebu Dick? Which one do you choose? Ebu D.
Yes.
Andy Amenechi, my friend. If I say my junior colleague, some people will gasp and they want to. Yes, Andy is my junior colleague. Yes. Andy will say, don't call me Ebu D, just call me Andy, because I know that some of you would call me Ebu Dick. So Ebu Dick, D. Can we get your name and what you're doing here?
Okay, my name is Isaac Otoho, and I'm the director of the set. I'm a member of Directors Guild of Nigeria.
DGN, yes.
DGN.
Yeah, where DGN is one.
Yes, so we've been working on this project for days now. I think this is day 3 or day 4.
Okay, so let me just ask you immediately.
Okay.
I don't know if you have been in Asaba. Can you just take a guess? How many film houses do you think there are in Asaba?
Okay, in Asaba here, at least this is my 2 years in Asaba. Yes, this is my 2 years in Asaba. I think we'll have over 120 film houses here in Asaba. But it's still not enough. Because in most cases you go to other film houses, you see like 2 or 3 productions, still filming in same production. So we still need more film houses.
So, as a director, how does this impinge? How does it affect? How does it, how do I put it now? Vis-a-vis your work as a director?
Okay, film houses in Asaba here has actually added more to, it has made filmmaking easier than it was.
Peter Wana's Omenoko. I think it's written in English or Igbo. It's written in Igbo. Some of us, people of our age, I am 71, heading 72. Yes, from our age, and even those that are 80 and above, they all read Omenoko. Omenoko, the traveler. Omenoko, the central figure who traveled all the way from Ozuakole, developed a trading route from Ozuakole coming down into Anambra State, into Anambra, into Aguata, into Orumba South, where he set up his residence, where he stayed. A trading route. Menoko. Can you imagine? You see the culture he has traversed. You have the Obi Okoli'S central culture. That is, what do we call that culture? Well, those in Igbo studies should know that. From there, moving into Aguata area, Ikulobia area, Oko area, Orumba South area. And if you know that movement, what it brought in its wake. In Aguata area, we now have Aro settlements in Aguata. Any town you hear that's called Nde, Ndeba, Nde, Ndiowu, all those Nde, they are all Aro settlements. Even up to Ajale. Ajale is an important Aro settlement. Ajale is where Humphrey Nwosu of the blessed memory, the great Humphrey Nwosu, Professor Humphrey Nwosu, he comes from Ajale. And Ajale is situated right inside Akbo. Okay? So that's how it is. Omenuko came into that place and stayed there. The cream of the story, the fulcrum of Omenuko's story happened around that Ajale area. So when you read a book, you should analyze the book. And I tell you, for me, an Igbo man, the story of Omenuko changed the texture, the direction of the Igbo man. Yes. Because it was through Omenuko that the Englishman, the people that ruled us, the British, yes, it was through Omenuko that they instituted the era of kingship in Igbo land. Do you understand? Before then, there was no kingship. We didn't have a strong tradition of kingship. Yes, there was kingship in Aro, in Onitsha, in where is it now? Was this area in Anambra State? Those were the few places we had strong kingship tradition. But with the coming of Omenuko, the British now created, because the British, they are used to monarchy, and they have monarchy as Enwanyo Obodo Yibo. Yes. And when they came to Nigeria, they found monarchy, royalty in the northern part of Nigeria, in the western part of Nigeria. The emirs in the north and the Kabieses in the west. And they could get to the subjects they needed to tax, because that was the whole idea of British coming to rule us. They imposed taxes, exacted taxes from us, the subjects. So the easiest way they could collect taxes from the subjects was to have a central rule. So when they came to Igbo, they discovered that Ndị Igbo enwere eze. The Igbos had no kings. But they needed people. People they could confer royalty on. And the crafty Englishmen went home and devised that evil plot. Don't mind the way I'm talking about it, because that is the cause of the Igbos derailing. You can put your own history anyway. Maybe I'm taking on too many things now, but that's the way I see it. If you support me, say aye. I'm sure some of you will. I know I'm already seeing some who will support me. Who is it now? Ezendibo will support me. Even Ugezu will support me. Because Ugezu is from Enugu, from Umunri, where there was kingship at Nri. But in the communities around Enugu, there was nothing like that. When the white man created those pseudo kings, what did they call them? Warrant chiefs. Yours truly, me, I have written a story that's based on warrant chiefs, the formation of warrant chiefs. And so many stories could be crafted based on the issue of warrant chiefs. Because the issue, the institution of warrant chiefs put paid to so many good traditions we had in Igbo land. It brought the Igbo man with his head down and his legs up. We didn't know what we were doing. Who were the warrant chiefs? The renegades in society. In fact, in the story I created, my own warrant chief was a complete renegade. 1, a slave. 2, somebody his father cast out because he was a ne'er-do-well. And was a drunk. And people like that, the moment the white man came, those people ran to the white man. They were the first to embrace the white religion. They went into the church. They embraced the white man. They were the first to start learning the white man's language. What? You see, there is his history in all these things. In Arrow of God, Ezolo told his son, his prized son, he told his son when he was sending him to the white man, to be in the white man's church, he told his son, son, I want you to learn this man's ways. Because Ezolo, remember, was a strong spiritual man. The Oyibo told Ezolo to become his warrant chief. And Ezolo said, me become another person's chief? What happens to Olo? Olo is the chief. That's Chinua Achebe at his best. What did he do? He said, no, I will not be your warrant chief. I cannot serve anybody other than Olo, our God. And the white man was amazed. In other climes, people would jump at that suggestion, but not a thoroughgoing Igbo man. No, he refused. So what did the white man do? He put him in prison. You see the white man? You see what they did to us? So they left him. So Omenuko actually was the starting point of warrant chiefs. Omenuko came into a community, went to the highest titled man, and stayed with him and his family. You understand? And when the man died, his son was still too tender. So Omenuko was asked to be representing the community in the Committee of Nations, Committee of Communities, where at the meetings where they held with the white man. So Omenuko kept going to the white man, going to meet the white man at the meetings, going to run errands for that community he was staying in. The white man now saw him as somebody that is wise. Not just wise, because wisdom to the white man is a complete thing. It also meant to him somebody who was wise in every respect. Wise so much that if you were offered money, you would even sell your community. That is wisdom to the white man. So, when the time came for the young man who Omenuko was representing to take over the rulership, the white man said, no, we cannot lose you, Omenuko. We will give you a warrant chief. Bring that young man, we'll also make him a warrant chief. So you understand, that's how Omenuko was made a warrant chief. That's the story of Omenuko. And whoever that would write any story of Omenuko would need all this knowledge, all this background knowledge. And that was what Okoli'S didn't have. And he admitted all that to me. Obi, please, this is too big for me. It's too large for me. Too heavy for me. Can you, or can we both do this? I said, sorry, sir. If the producer ran from me and came to you, please carry your cross. I will not be. So we are talking about the jobs of a producer. Geoffrey, the producer, took a decision and went another way. The rest is history. We know how far Omenuko flew, how far it went. I wished Omenuko was better produced and better directed. That story would have resounded in every clime like Things Fall Apart. Anyway, that gave me the window to do Idejimba. And to the glory of God, I know how far Idejimba went. These are stories. These are, you see, from happenings, you'll be able to, you can piece together actual events. The job of a producer is not a small job. It's not. So you must pick somebody, a script that is good. You must pick, do your location recce and well before time. Okay?
The incursion of film houses in the industry, I think there's been a significant boost, especially with the rate of productions and how do I put it? And the frequency of productions also. So we really had a boost in that line. The houses provide us homes, living rooms, and all of that. Hospitals, offices, hospital wards, and all of that.
Prison
So
yards?
no.
Prison?
Prison. Oh, there are prison yards too.
I'm asking.
No. I haven't been able. I haven't shot in any film house here that has a prison, which is why I was going to say in the course of my talk that there are still so many restrictions. Nonetheless, what we have basically are home film houses. There are other things that are involved in film that do not necessarily are restricted to people's homes and environments, like you mentioned earlier, prison houses, sporting facilities, all of those things. So we have a lot more way to go, and I am also, in my opinion, urging probably government or private individuals, whoever wants to invest in this business, to begin to look into those areas. We can create forests for hunting as a film village. We can create landmark historical sites that we could use to do. These are film houses, not necessarily just buildings, but so far we're doing amazingly well, and I know we have a lot of way to go.
Thank you there. Now, what about the general aesthetics of our films? Do you think we've gained by getting to use these, renting these film houses? Generally, I'm talking about aesthetics.
In terms of aesthetics, we haven't really done badly, but I don't think that's what should be, because film houses are usually restricted and sort of a cliche, But when you're shooting in different living locations, there are places you go, you see lawns, you see the greens, you see the trees, you see the swimming pools, you see so many vast amenities you could use to, boost up your movie and get the feel of what you have in your script. We do not have all of that now, and I am thinking if we look into that direction as we continue in this business, it's going to be a lot of advantage for us.
Yes, welcome back to the lectures. We will still continue to feed you. Remember that this is Idejimba TV. It is my YouTube, okay? The stars will continue to load you up. They will continue to give you vital information. And I was talking about the art director. You need to pick an art director that is versatile. You see, I have one art director. Yes, he's an art director in this show, and I see the boy as moving. Perfect is the person I'm talking about. This boy has gone to Ela how many times? Up to 3 times. He has gone to Otulu. He started going to Otulu, condemned what he saw at Otulu. And that brings me actually to this. When you're shooting an Igbo movie, how dare you move into a Fulani hut and call it Igbo movie? I don't know what you people do. Why are you debasing your own traditional elements? Why are you doing that? That is bastardization of Igbo culture. You stay in a Fulani hut and you shoot a movie and you call the person that owns the movie Okonkwo. You call him, call the other one Ifoma, and they are inside Fulani huts. Fulani huts, for crying out loud, are different from Igbo huts. It's a big misnomer. We shouldn't be doing things like that. So this boy on his own went to Otulu, came back. He complained to me that he doesn't know how he's going to use that. I said, my dear, that is what we have in Asaba. So he went down to Ela, and he's constructing something now at Ela as palace. That is a search for authenticity. Except maybe you're not shooting for authenticity. If you're shooting for authenticity, I tell you, you have no business at Ela. Sorry to have said this, but that's it. I'm not saying you should not shoot at Ela. It's not only Igbo films that are shot at Ela. But if you're actually shooting a true Igbo story, you have no business at Ela. Sele O Sele is one good art director. There are others like him, but pick a good art director, or at least pick somebody that is gifted, that has a strong artistic bent in creativity, somebody that is very creative. He will help you, the producer, so that your story could come alive. Because, look, we're talking about royalty. If you meet an art director, a set of props person, that's okay. Let's talk about props. If you're doing period drama, for instance, there is something we call Obi Okoli'S. It's something that is made from palm fruit. When you pound palm nuts, extract the oil, be sure you extract all the oil. That chaff that you throw away, that is what is mixed with the oil of the 10th generation. You mix it with that and then cut palm poles and put those things, make those things bound on the body like that. You know, Obi Okoli'S is usually long. You put them on the rafters and out in the sun. The sun will dry them. Obi Okoli'S. Those were the light tinders we used in the old. Yes. Those things were what provided lighting for us. There is yet another. Edeli, the one we call Edeli. Edeli is straight from a malformed palm nut. That is the bunch of palm fruit, the one that did not form into palm fruit, a malformed one. They are all over. That Edeli also provided light for us. Our people were able to extract the Edeli in a bunch like this. You could get upwards of 500 of it, very short like that. You extract it, they would dip it in palm oil. That provided light also. So if you have a good set, a good design person, those are things that you could have in your set to enrich your set. They are the aspects of a mise-en-scene we've been talking about. So they match the light you now put. When you have a Edeli or Obi Okoli'S somewhere, it provides, you could use it as your light source. It is also a mise-en-scene on your set. So what I'm saying in effect is that a producer has many decisions to take. The art director also moves with the costumier, because the art director gives the color tone of the production. What's going to be the color tone of this production? So he discusses with the costumier and the director.
Yeah, Sean.
Good to see you, Daddy.
Sean is somebody, is one of our best set designers.
Thank you very much.
Is there any other thing you do in the industry?
Aside from set designer, you know, our department is more or less like a twin department. Okay, it includes property and sets. Exactly. So, in total, we call ourselves art directors. You understand? So that's basically what I do. So I know props entails, whatever visible thing you can see in any movie, anything required of a particular movie production is exactly what we call props. Food, guns, knife, whatever, name it. Do you understand? Depending on the context of the production.
Okay. With the film houses we have now,
Yes, sir.
are you comfortable? Are you comfortably making films now? Do you like it better with the film houses we have here in Asaba?
Okay, Uncle, you know that in everything like this, there's always pros and cons. Do you understand? Sometimes we have advantages to it, and then we have disadvantages to it in some regards. But when it comes to film house, at least it has a wider advantage. You understand? Compared to the disadvantage. That where I'm coming from is sometimes, when you go to location houses that are owned by individuals, sometimes there are some certain rules you cannot break. Do you understand? So, but film has gone wilder than that. Do you understand? We need to explore. Film houses like this gives us space to explore, to do whatever we want to do, the way we want. Yes, exactly. Freedom, exactly. Sometimes we can even shoot overnight. Do you understand? But when you come to, individual houses like this, you dare not shoot overnight. Of course, they have kids and other things. They want to sleep. I know in film houses like this, is very, very quiet sometimes. But when you go to individual houses, you see that you can't keep the ambience.
Welcome back to the concluding part of the lecture. You see, I have talked variously about so many things. The job of the producer, how the producer would need to go to the location, how the producer would fraternize or engage a strong art director or set and props. Yes. All those things are important, and how a director would need to get a strong script. So now, to round this thing off, I just want to mention this. I don't know what they call themselves these days, but back in our own days, we called them continuity people. You see, continuity people have become very powerful now. When film started, or in our own days, continuity officers really slaved to keep accurate record of what happened, or of what is happening on set. These days, the continuity person only needs to arm him or herself with a good phone to record. Remember to record costumes. Remember to record location, meaning that the phone has become where they put down their records. It's good. But you see, the continuity officer needs to also have something inborn in him or her, or from training. Continuity is not an all-comers affair. And just to end, we will talk about continuity later, but to end this program, to end this lecture, I often hear continuity people say, blah, 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 close up on King. Close up on so-and-so actor. That is wrong. You don't say close up on wide shot on. You're trying to picture your shot on something. That is your shot. The close-up is going to be on somebody's MCU? No. If you want to call it a shot, call it straight. See you, Prince. See you, King. Just say see you and call the the person the CU belongs to. It's not close up on or CU on. It's wrong.
We are talking about the film houses in Asaba.
Okay.
And just seen you here, this
McV.
V Film House. Just take a peek. About how many film houses do you think we have in Asaba?
Many of them, or
50?
many.
Up to 50?
More
60?
than.
100?
We can't visit all. We have a lot. Yeah, we have a lot.
For you, you have swam in very deep waters, vast oceans, small waters of fame. I'm talking about. Now the film houses in Asaba. Are you comfortable with them? Shooting in film houses in Asaba. You are comfortable with them?
No, we need a film village, but Rome was not built in a day. Yeah. While we are still managing what we have on ground, we are working for a better picture where you have almost everything in one compound. Like a film village, you can shoot anything you want. But that's massive and because a lot of money though. But for now, we are not there yet, but we are managing it.
Yes. In terms of aesthetics, the beauty of film has its own aesthetics. Do we have such aesthetics? Can we realize such aesthetics in film houses? That is, do you think we are free to perhaps do whatever that bothers with film in the film houses?
I would say we are limited, but it still depends on the storyline. Yeah. If you have a story that fits into a duplex, fine and good. If you have a story that you need somewhere bigger and better, it depends on your budget. So that's it.
So with that, I thank you for staying and listening to this lecture. However boring it might have been to you, Nagidenum, it happens, you know. Old people, we talk, and we continue to talk. So Idejimba TV is still on, and we're rounding off and we're saying bye. But remember, it's still Idejimba TV on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube. Watch what I have, because I tell you there are more from where this comes from. We'll soon start releasing our movies, our series, our films. So stay on with Idejimba TV. Share our videos, I beg of you. And if you have comments, drop your comments. God bless you.